I'm John Davis, and this is a talk about how to use the emulator for Android from the command line, or what to do in the airport when you're bored and you don't want to have Wi-Fi. So the emulator is a virtual device. Typically people use it in Eclipse, but you can use it from the command line, and these are just some things you can try. All you need to do is set up your environment. This is the contents of my Android environment.bat file. You put this in and just run it from the command line and you're good to go. To create an emulator, you want to create an emulator from a list of targets, similar to what you see in Eclipse for the targets that are available. Android list targets will give them to you. Here is the command for creating a 2.2 API, and it's gone. Once you do that, you can list the emulators that you've created using the list AVD command, and they're kept in this directory here. So you can do a directory listing there and look as well. Once you have them, you need to start one. This is the emulator we created earlier, and I'm just going to start it up, and then I'm going to use the ADB command to see if it's running. This will also show you if you have a device connected. With the ADB, you can get a shell. Now, it provides root access on the shell, which is different from a real device. So keep that in mind. But it's pretty simple. You just ADB-E shell. E is for emulator, D is for device. From there, you can explore the file system. Use set to give a list of your path. And in your path, you'll have things like /systembin. Those directories will show you what commands you have available. Looks like Linux. You can use df, etc. It has a proc file system since it's Linux. You can see the ls is the directory, and within that there's like virtual files which can allow you to do things like look at version, CPU info, load average. It's a rule of thumb, load average is 1, you're loaded. There's also numbers in there. Those numbers correspond to process IDs. There are directories. Within those directories is a file, like a command line, and that shows you how that process was started. So here you could cat that to see this in a init script. All right, so here there's an accounts database, and one of the things I was just trying to play with is how does this affect if my Gmail account is there. So we're going to show you how here is to use your VM GUI to enter an account, read your email, and this is how you set up the account. The only thing that's tricky here is the server is m.google.com, and you have to click this accept certificate. You do this, your virtual device can go out and get your email. Which you're going to do, it'll sync automatically, but you want to just open up the email application from the launcher, make sure it's there. What's interesting is these settings persist during boot. Your virtual machine behaves just like you're powering it down. So you need to locate the account database. It's in data system, SQLite database. Give it this command, you'll open up the database. And then within the SQLite, you can issue dot commands. .help will show them to you. .tables will list the ones associated with this database. Do select star from accounts, which is one of the tables. And at the very end there, where it has pass here, that would be your password. Bootanimation is that screen that comes, it's the program that runs that screen that shows the flashing boot text. It's kind of a nice thing to play with because it's GUI oriented. So with that, you know, the file system is read-only. You can't delete it so that you could then see your dmessage output. Dmessage is your kernel boot messages. But as soon as you see that, you can get a shell. Catting the list of installed packages. The packages.list file has your list of packages that are installed. It's similar to the API code here, similar format. So push and pull files from the SD card. I was trying to do this to see if maybe I could play with the Bootanimation file. It's very simple. Pull, and then I'm going to pull it from the device, then push it to the SD card. The -E specifies it. What can you run it? I tried to run it, got a shell. It says permission denied, and you do a mount, and it shows that the directory at file system is mounted as no exec. That's it.